Most estate planning lawyers are stuck in one of two modes. They're either spinning their wheels, trying every marketing tactic they come across in search of the one thing that will make all the difference, or they're doing almost nothing, paralyzed by too many options with no clear place to start. Sound familiar? Well, that's exactly why I created the 4 pillars of lead generation for lawyers, or as I like to sometimes refer to them as 4 pillars to filling your pipeline. This is a simple, proven framework that helps you to focus your valuable and irreplaceable time, energy, and attention, or your T, to consistently attract new and likely to convert leads for your business, and to stop wasting time on strategies that just don't align with your strengths. So in this video, I'll break down each of the 4 pillars so that you can choose the right one for you. Once chosen, you'll finally start marketing with clarity, consistency, and congruence, and getting results that actually move your practice forward. And you'll only pay for paid marketing, paid ads, paid social media, paid SEO. You'll only pay for marketing when it makes sense. You'll be able to start with free marketing until it does. Hi. I'm Katz, founder of New Law Business Model, and I am currently licensing more than 650 lawyers to use my proven marketing resources to keep their law practices full of clients they love to serve, without wasting time, money, or energy on strategies that simply do not fit. If you're feeling overwhelmed by all the shoulds out there, or all the marketing agencies that want you to buy their service, buy their leads, pay for their ads, post more, network more, spend more, well, you're in the right place. Because in this video, I'm gonna walk you through the 4 pillars to keep your pipeline full and help you choose the marketing strategy or pillar that's right for your personality, your goals, and your practice. You're gonna be choosing marketing that feels aligned, energizing, all while actually filling your calendar with clients that you want to serve. Here's what you'll know by the end of this training: why most estate planning lawyers waste time and money on marketing that simply doesn't work, or at least that they think doesn't work, and how the 4 pillars of lead generation will give you a clear, repeatable path to consistent clients and sustainable growth, building your law practice into a business you absolutely love. You're gonna learn how to identify the marketing strategy that's actually aligned with your strengths, your personality, and your lifestyle, so you can finally stop guessing and start building momentum, and keep that momentum going, adding on and layering in other strategies without having to let go of what's working every time you want to try something new. The real reason that doing everything leads to burnout, and how focusing on one pillar at a time, the right pillar at a time, frees up your time and also fills your calendar. And I'm gonna share examples of how our personal family lawyer firm leaders are using this framework to attract better clients that they love, who love them, charge higher fees, affordable premium fees, yet still their clients' most affordable solution, and to grow their businesses with confidence, without chasing and without trying to show up as someone that they're not. At the end, I will show you how to get free access to our lead generation self-assessment tool so you can find your best fit strategy and put it to work right away. All right, grab a pen or your notepad or your iPad or your computer, get comfortable, and let's dive in. But hey, if you grab your computer, don't get distracted by doing other things. Stay with me here because it's really important. Most struggling estate planning lawyers think that if they just identify that one marketing strategy, they'll finally crack the code, keep their practice full, and be able to relax. And of course, the best marketers on the planet want you to believe it, especially if the one strategy is the one they want you to buy from them. Whether it's Google Ads, SEO, buying leads, running on-demand webinars, I cannot tell you the number of lawyers we talk to at New Law who've spent tens of thousands of dollars with some of these marketing agencies. The ones you've seen advertising all over your feed, only to leave feeling burned by their false promises. Why? Well, they're over-promising and under-delivering, and just selling you their one solution instead of teaching you what you need to know so that you can make wise buying decisions for you. And honestly, it's why I've named our holding company Eyes Wide Open Collective, because we are all about you making eyes wide open buying decisions and then helping your clients to do exactly the same thing. So let's start with you making a smart decision around marketing your business and buying the support that you need to be able to get all the clients that you need to be able to make all the money that you need. And the truth is that you need to have more than one marketing channel in place in your law practice if you want it to be a business where you can count on consistent income. Because one, it's really the most dangerous number in business. By the time I sold my law practice, I was using direct mail. I had an ad on the back of a magazine in our local kids community calendar, kind of an 8-page newsletter. I took up the full back page with my ad. I was networking. I had referral sources. I was doing everything that I could via email communications. I even had a CRM. This was 20 years ago. I don't even know that most people even knew what a CRM was, but I had one. I was doing consistent communication, consistent follow-up presentations, following up after my presentations, sending out my weekly email newsletter. As a result of all of that, people would come in to see me and they'd say, Alexis, it was like the universe sent me to come see you. I saw you everywhere. I saw you at my kids' school. I saw you in this newsletter. I saw you in my inbox. I saw you in my email inbox. I saw you in my mailbox. But it wasn't the universe. It was me. I was being omnipresent, showing up everywhere that my ideal clients were in ways that were congruent for me and my business. Now, of course, it didn't start there. And you don't need to start there. You can't show up everywhere, and yet you don't want to rely on just one thing. See, the chances are that you will fail if you try to do everything all at once. So you are going to pick one place to start. Because here's what's really happening. You're not failing. You're just not focused. You're pouring energy into strategies which don't fit with how you naturally connect with others. So you're not ever consistently following through, learning, iterating, and improving. Instead, you're likely haphazardly trying different things that you've seen online or heard from the digital marketing gurus, or the latest thing that grabbed your attention, or the latest person that sold you something, and wondering, why does it feel so draining and ineffective? The real cost isn't just the time or the money that you're spending, it's the mental exhaustion, the eroding confidence, the way you second guess yourself, even though you might know you're a great lawyer. The real cost is that you're wasting time which should be spent growing your business to the next stage of success. If you just knew what those stages were, you could do it in a systematic order that would make your success inevitable. I know because I went through this too. I noticed all the ways other lawyers were marketing, and that just didn't work for me. I didn't enjoy it. And more than that, I needed to find a way to generate leads which consistently created paying clients because I had bills to pay and people who counted on me. Ultimately, I realized I didn't have a marketing problem. What I really had was a clarity problem. And in the beginning, what I had was a conversion problem. I could get my phone ringing, or I could even get hired by the people who came in and meet with me. But there was a big gap between getting my phone to ring and getting people in my office to hire me. And once I realized I didn't need to do everything, especially not at first, that's when it all clicked into place for me. To begin with, I just needed to choose one approach that aligned with how I naturally connect with people. As a result, I stopped doing things that I wasn't comfortable with. Instead, I leaned into what made me feel most alive and in congruence and in service, and this allowed me to show up from a place of deep integrity. And the universe, or at least your audience, responds to that. As a result, leads started coming in consistently because I was finally building momentum instead of starting over every few weeks because I was dabbling in a little of this, a little of that, instead of committing to one strategy until it worked consistently. And that's the power of choosing what I call your primary pillar. When you align your marketing with your strengths, your message gets clearer, your presence gets more confident, and your calendar fills. Not with just anyone, but with the right clients who you'll love working with, and conversely, who want to work with you too. You don't need to chase leads. You don't need to copy what other lawyers or marketers are doing. You just need to focus on the one strategy that fits you. Go all in on it. Use that strategy to develop your conversion systems, your follow-up systems, everything that you need so that when inquiries start coming in or leads start getting generated, you don't lose those leads. You don't lose those inquiries. They actually turn into paying clients. And that's exactly what the 4 pillars of lead generation are designed to help you to do. It's a simple, proven framework that removes the noise so you can stop guessing, stop burning out, start growing your practice into a business with clarity, consistency, and yes, congruence. So here's how it works. Instead of trying to do everything, you choose one primary pillar, the strategy that aligns best with your personality, your energy, and your stage of practice. Then you go deep into that pillar consistently, intentionally, until it starts generating the kind of steady, high-quality leads that make your calendar predictable and your business sustainable. Once that's the case, because you've got your follow-up systems in place, because you've got your conversion benchmarks that you're hitting, finally then you'll layer on the other pillars while keeping that primary pillar in place until you have several lead generation avenues in place to fill your pipeline. In just a moment, I'll walk you through each of the 4 pillars and help you figure out which one is right for you. And it's okay for you to choose the one that you're most excited about, even if it's not what others may be doing in your space or in your community. Or maybe you choose the one that you feel the most resistant to, but which you know will bring up the fastest results. It's really up to you. That kind of depends on if you're the kind of person who likes to go towards what's hard and challenging and that excites you and lights you up, or if you like to go with something that's easier and more comfortable for you. There's not a right answer. None of these pillars is inherently better than the others. Ultimately, you're going to be using all of them. They all work to fill your pipeline, but only when you work them consistently and when you focus on adding them one at a time behind the follow-up systems and the conversion benchmarks that you will have already built and put in place. And then once you add on pillars, your conversion metrics, your benchmarks, your follow-up systems continue to work. But you're going to start with one pillar. Master it. This is about creating ease, not chasing shiny objects, and not forcing yourself to do something that will ultimately burn you out. So with that in mind, let's explore each of the 4 pillars, starting with the one that's most relationship-driven. That's pillar 1, in-person connection and community. This first pillar of in-person connection and community is the strongest opportunity for many estate planning lawyers. Take Trish Butcher, for example. She hit the ground running with in-person networking and events, and today she has a $1 million per year estate planning business that she absolutely loves. This lead generation strategy is about becoming known as the go-to lawyer in your local community who shows up with heart, builds real relationships, and creates trust that naturally leads to happy law clients for life. It's not about going to networking events and just passing out your business cards or giving forced elevator speeches. It's about being visible in the places where your ideal clients already gather and showing up as someone that they want to talk to. I think of it as warm contact marketing because it's not cold outreach. This pillar is ultimately about connection, curiosity, and conversations that happen naturally when you're someone who cares. You can use this pillar by attending local events and eventually hosting your own, giving short educational talks at community centers, schools, churches, temples, offering value to small groups, even just 3 to 5 people at a time. Maybe a dinner party at somebody's house where you're educating. Maybe partnering with other trusted professionals in your area where you're educating their clients or you're jointly educating. This strategy is especially powerful if you enjoy face-to-face connection, thrive on building relationships over time, and want to be known as a trusted guide, a wisdom keeper, not just a transactional lawyer. And here's what's beautiful about this approach. You're not selling anything, you're serving. You're simply showing up in your community and being helpful, approachable, and consistent. Now, I do want to be clear that as you're doing that, you are gathering information from the people that you're meeting, you are putting them into a database, and you are following up with them consistently, and that is really absolutely 100% critical. If you're not doing that, you're going to be wasting your time using this pillar. This pillar feels authentic, educational, and puts you in the seat of service. Not through the use of tricks, but because it actually is educational, authentic, and in service. So if that's what you want to be, you can choose pillar number 1. Pillar number 2 is social media and online networking. The second pillar of social media and online networking is for you if you feel most comfortable connecting through content, conversation online, and building trust online before ever meeting someone in person. And let me be clear, I'm not talking about becoming an influencer, spending your life glued to your phone, scrolling through social media, platform after platform, or even reaching millions of people. This is about showing up with intention and authenticity wherever your people are already spending their time online. This could be Facebook groups, LinkedIn groups. This could be events, online events, and building connection through value, visibility, and consistency. This approach works especially well if you already have an online presence on Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok, not necessarily an educational presence, but where you like to post about your family, your life, the things that you're doing. If you're active in any online groups or communities where your ideal clients already are, like moms groups or your local next door community, or other kinds of parenting groups, dads groups, sports groups online, right? Any place that people are gathering online if you're already active in those groups. If you prefer networking virtually rather than in person because you don't live in the state where you are licensed, or because you just prefer it, right? I started getting online in 2006, and ever after that, I preferred networking virtually rather than in person. It's just so much easier to be able to stay at home and connect with people virtually instead of getting in my car, getting dressed, doing my hair, putting on makeup, going to meet people in person. Or if you want to build a broader reach without traveling or attending in-person events, like I just said. So here's what this could look like. It could look like posting short videos or educational content that answers questions that your ideal clients are already asking. It could look like asking curiosity questions in local groups. This is how Emily O'Jail, one of our successful personal family lawyer firm leaders, I think she might have 5 kids now, or maybe she's got 4 with one on the way, or maybe she has 5 with one on the way. Anyway, she's got a lot of kids, and she didn't have the time to be going to in-person events, but she could certainly show up online. And she filled her pipeline in the first few months of turning her law practice into a business with our support by starting curiosity-based conversations that led to clients or prospects raising their hands and saying, yes, I want to work with you. Syra did the same thing. She came into our Facebook group, she asked for some support, and she got her first 2 clients as a result. So here's the key to using this. It isn't about selling. It's about sharing stories, insights, value, who you are, so the people that are going to hire you feel as if they already know you before they ever reach out. This is how you build what we call know, like, and trust capital. Because when someone's been watching you show up consistently, vulnerably, and generously online, sharing your family, sharing pictures of what you care about, sharing just your life, well, you're not a stranger anymore. You're a trusted voice. And then often, by the time you go into a group and ask a curiosity question, they're happy to be engaging with you. And then by the time they reach out, they've already decided they want to work with you. There's no chance they're going anywhere else. Now, if you're trying to create all of your own content from scratch, it can be really difficult to do because you're doing everything right now, right? Ultimately, it's one of the reasons that I created Personal Family Lawyer. I was writing content anyway, and I knew there could be great economies of scale if I was writing it for more than just me. So our Personal Family Lawyer firm leaders start with our curiosity questions that they post online. And then they use our weekly article content for follow-up. When somebody raises their hand, they might use my book as a free giveaway, a lead magnet, so that they don't have to create their own. And it's great when you do that because now you're not trying to give away your own book, right? You're gifting a book that I created for you to be able to use. And then you've got your follow-up with your email newsletter with the articles that we create for you, but you're making that very personal. So here's the really interesting thing that I find with Pillar 2. And that is that sometimes it can be way more intimate to share yourself online than it is to get in person with people, like in Pillar 1, right? Pillar 1, you might be going in person with people, but maybe you're not sharing as much of yourself. People are getting to feel you in person, but you're sharing a lot less. Whereas online, you're reaching a lot more people, but you're actually having to let more of yourself be seen. So you might want to decide based on that. But in every case, whether it's Pillar 1 or Pillar 2, when you're going out and doing that online marketing, you're going to want to have something to give away so that when you're out networking, you could say, oh, it's so great to meet you. You're talking about something. Oh, I'd love to send you actually a copy of this book that my mentor wrote on estate planning for parents. Or on, oh, I think that will help you really to answer this question that we're talking about. Or, hey, I'd love to send you a copy of this book. Would you love to receive it? They give you their information. You send them a book. Now you're following up, building relationship until they're ready to hire you. Same with Pillar 2 online. If you're using the curiosity questions, if you're giving away a copy of a book, especially if it's not a book that you wrote, now you've got a real opportunity to build a list of people who will hire you one day. That then takes us into pillar 3, which is referral partners. And the referral partners pillar and strategy is all about building collaborative relationships with other professionals who already serve your ideal clients. If you're an estate planning attorney, you're already thinking about financial advisors, CPAs, insurance agents, real estate agents, but you might not be thinking about as well therapists, lactation consultants, birth doulas, midwives, business coaches. These are all people that your clients are already working with and trust, and who want to offer even more value by connecting their clients to a lawyer they believe in. This is what I call a win-win-win marketing strategy. Your referral partner wins by serving their clients at a higher level by introducing them to you. Their clients win because they're connected to someone they trust. That's you. And you win by building a consistent stream of warm leads with no extra marketing effort or cost on your part. But here's the secret. Referral marketing only works when it's built on trust and alignment, not just on exchange of business cards. And that's why I teach our personal family lawyer firm leaders to start by identifying 3 to 5 referral sources, people they genuinely like and respect and value themselves, and to build real relationships with those referral sources by leading with generosity. Ask yourself the question, how can I help them to get more clients first? And then look at how you can work together to help you get more clients too. Now, you can't do that with everybody, with all the people that you meet that want to be referral sources for you or that want to receive leads from you. That's why we want you to identify just 3 to 5. And we have a very specific education process that you can use to identify the very best referral sources and ensure that they're educated in the best way possible for them to send business your way. Now, this pillar works especially well if you love connecting one-on-one, you're naturally collaborative, you want to grow your network while staying focused on service, you prefer a steady flow of pre-qualified leads that doesn't rely on you being everywhere all the time. And the way it might look like in practice is having intentional conversations with 1 to 2 potential referral partners each month. Take, for example, our member lawyer, Jeanette. She asked her referral partners to leave positive online reviews. That helped her increase her online leads. You may want to host small gatherings or lunches to bring professionals together. You may want to offer joint webinars or co-hosted events that position both of you as valuable resources. I did quite a lot of that with real estate agents in my community, with insurance professionals in my community, not just life insurance, but State Farm type of insurance, right? Property casualty insurance providers, divorce lawyers, right? These are all really good. One of our most successful personal family lawyer firm leaders, Sarah, she does this with her great friend that's a lactation consultant, okay? So you can go broad here on your co-hosting of events. Reach out with curiosity, not with a pitch. Focus on how you can support them and educate them about the way that you serve after you've found out if their values align in serving the same people that you are. Because at the end of the day, when you become the go-to legal resource for a small group of trusted professionals, you don't need to hustle for every lead. They come to you. And the best part, these are often your best clients. They're pre-sold. They already trust you. They're often ready to hire. They're not just interviewing. They're not shopping around. They're ready to go. Okay, let's go to pillar 4, and this is paid traffic. The 4th pillar of paid traffic gets a lot of attention, but it is the last one that we recommend that you focus on. Why? Because paid marketing can be powerful, but only if your intake and engagement process, or what we call your client engagement system, is dialed in and working. Otherwise, you're just spending money to amplify what's broken, and you're gonna end up feeling burned. Now, here's what I always tell our personal family lawyer firm leaders. Paid traffic is like pouring gasoline on a fire. If there's no fire to begin with, well, you're just pouring gasoline on the ground. You're wasting fuel. Or if the fire's burning too hot, you're gonna end up with a massive explosion that burns you and your team out and ends up with a huge amount of wasted energy and possibly a lot of tears, heartbreak, upset. So before you invest in Facebook ads, Google ads, SEO, paying for leads, or really funnels of any kind, you need to make sure that your client engagement system is dialed in, your offer is clear and high value, your lead follow-up and conversion process is solid, and that you've already had success with free organic marketing first. During that time, you're building your client engagement system, you're testing it, you're getting it to operate at a minimum benchmark of turning at least 50% of the people who inquire about your services, whether they're coming from a presentation, from networking, from a referral, from meeting you, wherever they're coming from, at least 50% of the people who inquire, how do I work with you? How much does it cost? What's the next step? 50% of those people turn into planning sessions, and at least 80% of the people that you meet with for those planning sessions turn into paying clients at average fees of $4,000 to $6,000. Until you're hitting those benchmarks, do not pay for lead generation. Do not buy leads, do not buy clients, do not pay a marketing agency. You've got to hit those benchmarks first. 50% of inquiries, people attending your presentations, people calling your office, people emailing you, turn into planning sessions. At least 80% of those planning sessions turn into paying clients at an average fee of $46,000. Now you've got something to pour gasoline on. And how do you do that? Well, it might look like running targeted Facebook or Instagram ads to a lead magnet. This is a lead magnet, by the way. Then to a free webinar where you're educating and making a strong call to action. It might mean retargeting warm audiences who already know you from the lead generation that you've done in the other pillars. It might be promoting a life and legacy planning session offer through a well-tested funnel. It might mean sending out a monthly offer to your email newsletter list, giving people a reason to come in for their planning session. Using paid ads to amplify what's already working and not replace it is the key. This pillar works best when you already have a proven, tested, benchmark client engagement system. You've got to have a strong message that speaks clearly to your ideal client. You can't afford to reach everyone. So, who's your ideal client? For your paid marketing to really work, you're going to want to know. And you've got to be ready to invest in testing, tracking, and refining over time, plus be able to have the capacity to serve the clients and be ready to hire so that you can expand your capacity as you grow. You need follow-up systems, right? Because if you're going out there and doing presentations or you're using anything to be able to generate leads, but then you're not following up with the leads that aren't ready to hire you right away, you're pouring all that money down the toilet. Really, you might as well just take money, put it in the toilet, and flush. Because without follow-up systems in place to build relationship with the leads you're generating, that's exactly what you're doing. So you want follow-up systems, and you want them built and tested. With those other 3 free pillars, you want to know that they're working. So you're not paying for leads that never hear from you again. You want to be generating consistent revenue from the other pillars. They're free, and be ready to grow. And let me be clear, this isn't about chasing clicks. This is about strategic growth. Paid traffic can absolutely be a game changer, but only when it's built on the solid foundation of trust, clarity, and connection that you'll create using the other pillars. Okay, so let's recap the 4 pillars of lead generation so you can finally stop guessing and start focusing on the strategy that actually works for you. Pillar 1, in-person connection and community. Networking to build trust through face-to-face connection and becoming the go-to lawyer in your local area, like Trish. Pillar 2, social media and online networking for showing up online in a way that feels authentic and aligned with who you are. Like Emily, Umi, and Michael. Michael's latest webinar to teachers brought in $59,000. Pillar 3, referral partners for creating win-win relationships with professionals who already serve your ideal clients, like Sarah and Bliss. And Pillar 4, paid traffic for amplifying what already works once your client engagement and follow-up systems are dialed in. Now here's what I want you to remember. While the long-term plan is for you to use more than one of these lead generation approaches, you won't need to do all 4 to start, and you should not. In fact, trying to do everything all at once is what keeps most lawyers stuck. What you do need is to choose the one pillar that fits your strengths, your personality, your stage of practice, and stick with the lead generation strategy until you're consistently getting enough leads and clients to add on other pillars, where you have the money to add on other pillars. And only then will you layer on those pillars, always keeping the pillars you already have in place. So you've got to get your follow-up systems in place, you get your client engagement system in place, and then you can add on the other pillars. Because when you focus your energy on the right thing, the strategy that feels good and plays to your natural abilities, everything else is gonna get easier. You stop spinning around, wondering why nothing's working, and you start building traction. And your calendar fills with the right clients consistently, without burnout. Now, let's talk about what happens when you put the right pillar to work in your own practice. Here's what we've seen happen with hundreds of lawyers who have implemented this framework. They choose their primary pillar, and within 90 days, they're consistently bringing in qualified leads who actually turn into paying clients. Oftentimes, much sooner than that. They stop chasing marketing trends and start booking paid consultations, what we call life and legacy planning sessions, with ease, engaging clients at $4,000 to $8,000 per engagement on average. They go from, I don't know where my next new client is coming from, to having their calendars booked out 4 to 6 weeks in advance with people who are already pre-sold on working with them. To me, that's the holy grail, especially if you know that you're going to engage those clients at an average fee of $4,000 to $6,000. At least that's what I felt when I was in the early days of practice for myself, and I prayed, please, let me just get booked out 4 to 6 weeks into the future. And once I did that, and I knew that those clients were gonna hire me for an average fee back then of $3,000 to $5,000, now $4,000 to $8,000, now you've got a business. And that's why we are currently serving nearly 700 lawyers who license and use our proven marketing resources and our engagement systems and our service systems and our technology and our training on how to build their business and their support to do so, to keep their practice full of clients that they love to serve. And time again, we hear them saying the same thing. Once I stopped trying to do everything and focused on one strategy that actually fit me, everything changed. No more second guessing your lead gen approach. No more wondering if you should buy leads or hire that marketing company. No more feast or famine because you're hoping referrals come through. No more feeling invisible in a crowded market, all while competitors like financial advisors and cheap legal, who have a lot more money to market than you do, take your clients. Instead, you're gonna enjoy the clarity that comes from focus, the consistency that comes when you commit to an approach, and a law practice that turns into a business, because you're finally marketing in a smart way, a way that feels good. And this isn't theory. It is what's working right now for personal family lawyer firm leaders across the country, and it can work for you too. So now you've seen how just one lead generation pillar, aligned with who you are and how you serve, can keep your calendar full of clients you actually want to work with. But now you might be wondering, well, which one should I start with, or where should I double down, or where should I focus? How do I activate this in my practice? That's where our lead generation self-assessment and strategic action guide comes in. It's a simple, powerful tool that helps you to identify your primary marketing pillar, align your lead generation with your natural strengths, and start implementing the strategies that will actually bring in the right clients for you. To get it, just comment pillar below. We'll send it to you right away. No pressure, no pitch, just a super helpful tool to help you take action today. And yeah, you might see it and then realize, oh, I don't want to have to reinvent the wheel. I want to work with New Law Business Model and become a personal family lawyer. Great. We'd love to support you. And in the meantime, let's make this the year your marketing starts feeling simple, aligned, and effective. So if you want to lead with service, right now there are families and business owners in your community looking for you. Someone they can trust who can help them to safeguard their legacy and make great choices about the use of their resources during their lifetime. They're not looking for the loudest lawyer. They're not looking for a slick marketing campaign. In fact, coming off too salesy will repel the clients who are looking for a heart-centered relational lawyer like you. Your ideal clients in your community are looking for someone who sees them, who can lead with care, who's willing to show up consistently, not to sell but to serve, to educate, and who wants to help them make the very best eyes wide open decisions for their life and be there for their family when they can't be. And that's what the 4-pillared lead generation framework helps you do in the only way that you can. It's not about being everywhere, not at first, eventually, when you have the capacity to serve a lot more people, but it is about being somewhere with intention and letting the right people find you, because your presence is aligned and real and congruent. You don't have to become a master marketer. You just have to become more of you, consistently, visibly, and with purpose. I look forward to seeing more of you online and maybe even offline. So go ahead and comment pillar below, and I'm excited to see which one you choose. Okay, see you on the other side.